Rosie Radiant, and I'm going to tell you how to attract your dream romantic partner. So before you go on Tinder or an online dating site and waste your time going out with all these duds and schlepping here and there, write down all the attributes you want in a partner and then let it go. That's the simple technique that works. It's worked for me a handful of times to get the person I want in my life to date with every single attribute. So I've done this before intensely studying law of attraction materials and after, and each time it has worked. So the first time I did it, I was 18 before I had a real boyfriend, and I learned it from Oprah, how to attract your soulmate, and she said how you write down the traits you want in a romantic partner and then you will get them. So I decided to write down all the traits I wanted, which at 18 I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't know what was a valuable trait to have in a romantic partner, so I put down superficial things like extremely good looking or whatnot. So I wrote down all the traits and then I let it go. And I let it go the same abandon as when you plant a seed in the ground. When you put a seed in the ground, you just have faith and confidence that the natural laws of Earth and the universe will bring what is contained in the seed to externalize on the screen of space. So when you plant an apple seed, an apple will grow after its kind, etc., so on and so forth. So I wrote down all the traits I wanted, and then this was before online dating, really popular online dating. So the way I met my first boyfriend, after I wrote down all the traits I wanted, it was in the craziest way that proved to me that law of attraction does work. So after I wrote down all the traits, the craziest thing happened. I went to pick up a cable box or something in a faraway part of the town that I'd never really gone to. And then that was with my roommate and best friend, Leona, and the craziest thing happened. I left my key in my Jeep and locked myself out, which has never happened to me in my life. So I had to call my brother, who went and picked me up, and then I was able to get the spare key that I had, and then come back. And then this was quite a while, so then I decided to just go to the grocery store near that cable box place. And in that grocery store, my best friend comes up to me and says, "Oh my goodness, there's a really hot guy in the toothpaste aisle." So I'm like, okay, I'll go check him out and see what's up. So I go, and I'm amazed, like, swooning. This guy's eyes are amazing, breathtakingly handsome. And so I'm in the toothpaste aisle and he talks to me, and right? So that happened, and it was sort of a misconnection because I left the Publix without any kind of, which is a grocery store, I left without setting up any plans or anything like that, or he didn't set up plans with me. So then like 3 weeks later at my college that I was at, I saw him and he called out to me and we sat on the bench, and this was on the eclipse where major changes had happened. And relationship ensued for about 2 years, and he had every single attribute that I wanted. Unfortunately, at 18, I didn't really have discernment, or I was naive, and I didn't put down respectful to women. He ended up being abusive and undesirable in that capacity, but he did have all the traits that I wrote down that I wanted, and for that, I knew it worked. So then, the most recent time that it worked, after I had learned, much more what I wanted in a romantic partner, I wrote down all the traits, and the idea of going on online dates and schlepping here and there, and at the time I didn't have a car and I didn't want to waste my time, and just seemed like a tremendous hassle for me living at my parents' house without a car in a suburban kind of area. It would be a tremendous hassle, and I didn't want to go on a lot of dates. I just wanted to meet the kind of person I wanted to meet. So I wrote down like a list of 25 traits or so, really ridiculous things too. Like I wanted him to be proficient in the fields that I am not truly that interested in, like technology or like computer programming. No offense, it's just not how my brain works. And also very technical finance. So I wanted him to be like a master in those fields, and I also wanted him to speak a language that would be beneficial in the future. So I wanted things to balance my interests and attributes, and I wrote down so many little traits. I wanted him to be liked by my parents, which they'd never liked anyone I dated. So that was important to me, and because I was living at home, it was more important to me. I wrote down all sorts of traits. Of course, it's personal and private to what you want, but I wrote them all down, and then on this one dating online website, I went on the only date, and that was the person that I ended up being in a long-term relationship with. And he had every single attribute that I wanted, that I wrote down, and I didn't have to waste my time going here and there and everywhere and like getting ready just to go and meet a dud and have like an undesirable experience. You know how awful it is when you go on those online dates and you don't click and you spend all this time getting ready and like schlepping across town or whatever it might be, and then you're just unhappy that you squandered your time getting ready for that date and meeting a lot of frogs before you find a prince or princess. So if you want to meet someone and you don't want to waste your time going on crazy online dates and this and that, then take the time to think about what you really want, the traits that you really want, and be sure to look back on your past experiences and think about what you learned wasn't good for you and what you would like in a new partner, and write down all the traits that you want, and you will get them. And do this before you start going out on online dates, and you will be led to click on their message or whatnot, and you'll be led across a series of events to have you meet that person. So do that and you will meet the person that you want to meet. So happy dreaming up what you want, happy manifesting. May you be radiantly happy and prosperous in all your ways. Take care.